Hi guys, this is Sam Prentice with WealthPoint Financial. I am really excited to share this case study with you all here today. I'm going to start at the end of what we did for the client, and I'm going to show you how we got there. So where we ended is at the end of with this particular client, a 41-year-old worth about $500,000. And this, of course, we can work with anybody from any background, any situation. This is just an example. So currently with this individual, they're going to do $92,000 of cash flow at retirement age. About 63% of that was going to be taxable. Following our strategy with our proposal over here, we were able to do $128,000 while arguably taking significantly less risk. We were able to do that larger cash flow with 46% being taxable. So a lower taxable percentage, a higher gross cash flow following the recommendations under our proposal. That's huge because by having more cash flow available, you're able to take less risk. You don't have to distribute as aggressively. You can invade less principal, etc. A lot of positive things for the balance sheet by being more prepared for retirement and having a greater cash flow that you can take without having a high likelihood of depleting your account. Secondly, we tracked liquidity. Liquidity is huge. It's often majorly overlooked in financial planning. And I think that when you understand how important liquidity is to effectively growing your wealth, you'll never overlook it again. So liquidity is one, it's a metric of how much opportunity can you take advantage of. But secondly, it's also a risk mitigator in that if you're liquid and a contingency of life comes up, you're able to deal with that contingency along the way and not have to liquidate other assets that are not at an optimal time to liquidate. So that's important. We want to track that. We want to be as liquid as possible so we can take advantage of opportunity. We can mitigate our risk. With this year 10, year 20, year 30, you can see the liquidity with the current plan was going from 100 to 122 to 152. Notice this year 20 comparison. 331,000 on our side, on our proposal, compared to the current of 122,000. Big difference, huge change. By being significantly more liquid, makes a huge push for you as a client or for this individual as a client to be able to take advantage of opportunity, to be able to mitigate risk by being more liquid. So we pushed liquidity, we were able to increase cash flow, be more liquid along the way, significantly improved this individual's plan just by making a few small balance sheet moves. Net worth, how much was he worth? 10, 20, 30 years, we go from 967 compared to a little over $1 million. At year 20, 1.6 compared to a little over 1.9, so about a $300,000 increase. By year 30, though, almost $1 million difference, 2.4 to 3.39. So significantly increased the net worth, stayed more liquid, and had a much greater cash flow just by making a few small balance sheet moves. So we're going to get into the balance sheet side here, the assets we use to generate this summary where we had the impact we made on this individual's balance sheet. This is really cool because we use all these individual assets and we're able to go through and track any moves we want to make. If we want to get rid of one asset and replace it with another, we want to change a cash flow or how we tax an asset. Any of these different moves we make, we can track it on a spreadsheet like this and show what long-term impact that makes on the retirement cash flow, on the liquidity, on the balance sheet, net worth growth as well. So this is important. This is what we go through. A spreadsheet's divided into four quadrants rather. There's a top left section that is the current assets. The top right is current cash flows. Bottom left, proposed assets. Bottom right, proposed cash flows. So we compare on top the current, on bottom the proposals, comparing those assets side by side on the way through into the future. So for this individual, you can see we have, on this case study, we have an income of $100,000 on the cash flow, contributions being made, deductible contributions for $6,000, non-deductible for $6,550 and $3,000 respectively. And what those come from is over here we have the 401k. He was contributing $6,000 that's deductible, $529, $6,000 that's non-deductible, $5,500 from the Roth that's non-deductible, and $3,000 going into his stocks. So you can see we kind of have a picture of his financial situation here with this spreadsheet. This is what he's currently doing. And if he follows this plan of what he's currently doing, he can anticipate having that retirement cash flow that we showed on the page just prior to getting to this one. Now, with our proposal, what we did is we went through and we looked at his assets and we made our recommendations for him. We said, okay, based on what you showed us, we think that this is what you should do. We left his 401k like it was because he's getting matched on 100% of his contributions. His 529, we left that like it was because he was using that for college education for his child. On his Roth, we changed that to a self-managed Roth IRA as opposed to just a traditional IRA. It let him move those dollars outside of the stock market. He wanted to be allocated towards other assets that were outside of the stock market. We were able to make that move and keep the same tax structure of being taxed, tax-free growth with a Roth IRA. Very attractive because he actually was able to put in some real estate, short-term real estate holds that were otherwise pretty tax inefficient, hold them inside of the Roth IRA, and increase the tax efficiency very quickly. Very attractive move that he was able to make there. And the long-term effect of just that little changing, being able to take short-term capital gains, make them tax-free by holding them inside of a Roth, activities he was going to do on his balance sheet somewhere by changing where he held those assets, changing his taxation, the compounding effect of that is tremendous for the long-term growth of his net worth. His stock account, he wanted to remove some of those dollars and put them into other assets. He'd already actually liquidated that stock account prior to talking to us. We were able to place the stock account, some of the cash value from a life insurance policy, as well as some of the cash equivalents. We're able to put that into this capital warehouse strategy. The capital warehouse strategy is one that we use a lot here at WealthPoint. Very attractive way to put dollars to work while limiting your downside. It's a somewhat counter-cyclical asset in that when the market goes down, we have floors and limitations to how much money we can lose. And so by doing that, by limiting the downside, when we go through a downturn, you're able to take advantage of that downturn, stay liquid, and go buy other assets that are now out of value. We go through a downturn in the market, real estate, stocks all become incredibly cheap compared to where they've been historically. If you're liquid, you get to take advantage. If you're not liquid, you simply ride that wave back up and get back to zero. So we look for some counter-cyclical assets on the balance sheet so we can take advantage of market downturns when they take place. Very attractive. We built one of those for him, and it just changed the game for what his safety, what his exposure, and what his ability to capitalize on opportunities looked like going into the future. Left the annuities, didn't mess with those, left the real estate. And then, of course, the cash equivalents. Long story short, when we went through and made these little moves, honestly, not anything super significant on his moves here, we were able to generate this after-tax cash flow that's very significant and a very significant increase from what he was looking at before. And so we show here, like we show this summary, just to remind, we were looking at $92,000 of cash flow, 63% taxable with his current plan. By following our strategies, being more liquid, being exposed to less risk because of that liquidity, having a higher net worth, he was able to distribute $128,000 at 46% taxation following our strategies. So a huge increase. Small moves make a big difference, and actually reducing your risk can in fact increase your ability to take distributions at retirement and to grow your wealth along the way. So very impactful study here. I hope this was beneficial. Hope this was useful for you to be able to see some of the different strategies we employ here at WealthPoint. This was a somewhat unique case study in that we covered a wide variety of assets. However, it's not a unique situation in the impact we're able to make. This is very common for us to see a current situation making a few small moves, decreasing risk, decreasing taxation, a lot of other creative strategies we have that we employ, able to create this kind of impact to someone's financial plan. So this is not uncommon. If you have any questions, again, please reach out to us. Looking forward to working with you more in the future. Have a great day.